MMA Boxing Talk here. This is a prediction video for Rory MacDonald versus Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. Cannot wait for this fight. I've been absolutely thrilled the moment it got made. A lot of people do believe that Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, after destroying Johnny Hendricks, maybe should have got a title shot, because Johnny Hendricks had so many close fights with Robbie Lawler, and Wonderboy just, iced him in under 4 minutes. But the UFC didn't go with that route. They went with this amazing fight, and we get a great title eliminator fight in the process, Now, start off by talking about both fighters. Start off with Rory MacDonald, the Red King. His record is 18-3, I believe. 18-3, 7 by KO, 6 by submission, and 5 by decision. So very spread out, his wins, he can win any different way. Definitely the more well-rounded out of the two fighters. There's nothing that Rory MacDonald doesn't do well. He's actually above average at everything he does. He's a solid striker, good kickboxer. He's a pretty good boxer as well with his hands. He's got pretty good takedowns. They're not the best. He doesn't go for them too often, but when he sticks with it, he usually can get a guy down eventually. But his wrestling isn't the best, but it's still pretty solid. And great on the ground as well. He's very hard to deal with. So this guy's great everywhere. Only has 3 losses, all to big names. His first loss coming in 2010 to Carlos Condit, which was a very close fight. Condit finished him in the end, at the end of round 3 with about 7 seconds to go. It was the fight of the night, though. Amazing back and forth. And then, he went on a great tear, demolishing Nate Diaz, Mike Pyle, Shane Mills, destroyed BJ Penn, Jake Ellenberger. And, then he got his second loss to Robbie Lawler, second loss of his career, which was a close fight. That was a 3-round split decision. That was a close fight, it really was. Then he beat Damian Maia, Tyron Woodley, Tarek Saffiedine, and then, his most recent fight we all know against Robbie Lawler, which was a very crazy fight. He took a lot of damage. Both guys took a lot of damage. But in the end, Rory MacDonald got the worst of it. So, now he's coming off a loss. It's going to be, almost pretty darn close to a year since Rory MacDonald's last fight, which is smart. When you're in a fight like that, you have to, you just have to take some time off. You have to let your body recover and recuperate mentally as well. Let's move on. Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. Arguably one of the best kickboxers of all time. 57-0 with amateur and pro kickboxing record. Never lost in kickboxing. He is the best kickboxer ever to grace the octagon. There's never been a better kickboxer in the UFC than Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. And he's really starting to put it on display now. Unbelievable. He has 1 loss all the way back in 2012 against Matt Brown. And let's be honest, he wasn't ready. He wasn't experienced enough for Matt Brown at that point, Matt, it was a decent fight. Stephen Wonderboy did, he had his moments in that fight, but Matt Brown in the end was a little bit too much with his wrestling, and just really outworked Stephen Wonderboy Thompson and just had more experience and grit. And but ever since then, Stephen Wonderboy Thompson's been training at Sarah Longo Gym, and he's been training with Chris Weidman, wrestling and working with Chris Weidman to get his takedown defense better, and his just Chris Weidman is such an animal and great wrestler. It's a good guy to train with, because if the 170 pounders can't take him down, then he's going to win most all of his fights pretty well if it stays on the feet. So great move working with Chris Weidman, and also he emulated Anderson Silva for Chris Weidman, so it kind of was a give and take. And then ever since that loss to Matt Brown, he's been on a hell of a tear. You know, 6-fight win streak, four KOs, 2 decisions in those 4 fights, or 6-fight win streak, I should say. 4 KOs, two decisions. So definitely on a great roll. I mean, this is a tough fight to predict. You got both guys who are just absolute beasts in their own right. I got to go with Stephen Wonderboy Thompson in this one. I think he's going to get the finish. I want to say the 3rd round. I just think that his takedown defense has improved tremendously. He's very, very strong. I think he's going to be stronger than Rory MacDonald physically. We'll see, but that's just what I believe. And I think Rory MacDonald's going to have a hard time getting in close with Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, because when he does, Wonderboy's so good with those quick, straight, intercepting shots when guys are moving in. Plus, his kicks are better. His striking is just better all around. And that's saying something, because Rory MacDonald is a great striker. But I think he's going to be outmatched. Now, if Rory MacDonald, he has to really try to box Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, because Stephen Wonderboy Thompson doesn't like the boxing range. He likes to be out at distance, unless he's blitzing in. But MacDonald has to get close. He has to make it a dirty fight, and that's his best chance of winning. But I just think Stephen Wonderboy Thompson will be too much for Rory MacDonald. The pressure he puts on. And you really start, you really get overwhelmed in there when you're with him, and he's just flowing and natural, and it's all coming organically to Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. And you got to remember, Roy MacDonald, mentally, it's a tough fight to bounce back. Yes, he's had a year off to recuperate and get his mind straight, but he broke his nose, and he took a ton of damage in that last fight. That's got to be in the back of his mind. You also have, the free agency. That's also in the back of his mind. The future isn't clear. He doesn't know exactly what's going to be next for Rory MacDonald. I mean, if he wins this fight, okay, but if he doesn't, he's not going to. The UFC's probably not going to sign him. Unless he has a great performance, but that's gotta weigh on you. Coming up to a big fight like this, a fight that most people are picking Wonderboy Thompson to win. I mean, there's a lot with Rory, but I'm just saying, I think the majority are picking Wonderboy here, and it's just a tough fight for Rory MacDonald mentally. But we'll see what he's all about. We know he's has that warrior mentality, that warrior spirit. We've seen that at UFC 189. It was the fight of the decade, probably the best fight ever. And we'll see if he can emulate that and come back, and because he's going to have to take some damage against Wonderboy Thompson if he wants to win this fight. So we'll see. But I definitely going Wonderboy Thompson to win this 3rd round TKO or KO. Let me know what you guys think. But I definitely got to go Wonderboy. Definitely give me reasons why you have Rory or why you have Wonderboy in this fight. I'm definitely interested to hearing that. I want to also give a shout out to Arts Martial Mixed. Definitely go check out his channel. That's Arts Martial Mixed. I should have gave him a shout out earlier. He was the one. And it is true, but talking about Rory MacDonald and the extra pressure, the things that'll be weighing on his mind, like his fight, his brutal war with Robbie Lawler a year ago, and all the damage he took, and his broken nose, and also the fact that his free agency is up. His contract's up after this fight, and his future is unclear. So that's got to weigh on your mind, and. So anyway, that's why I want to give Arts Martial Mixed a shout out, and yeah, definitely go check out his channel. He was gone for a while. Now he's back making prediction videos, and he definitely has a very great interactive channel. So definitely go and subscribe to Arts Martial Mixed. But that's it for this one. If you like the video, subscribe. Check me out on Twitter at MMA Boxing Talk 1. That's it for this one. Subscribe if you like. Peace.